Good evening, and welcome to Karl Marx Does the Washing Up,
where we ponder ludicrous metaphysical nonsense in the time it takes to make 5 Tesco's basic microwave meals.
which is around 21 minutes.
Yes, I'm Ilyas and Shy.
I'm Shy Telly. And actually, in our last episode, here it is, in the intro, I punched you. And actually, I got quite a lot of feedback saying that people didn't really expect me to be a violent person. And what does punching someone have to do with violence? Yeah, what are these people talking about?
Yeah? So what is violence? So why you think violence is always considered a physical thing where it can be emotional? Then?
Yeah, I think emotional violence is way more, far more intense and...
Yeah, but having said that, I did have PTSD after that podcast. That's why I haven't seen you for so long.
Yeah,
I've been working over my issues from that podcast.
Well, we haven't seen...
and then I profess that you're my hero. It's complete nonsense.
Is that because I punched you and you felt like you made that profession under duress?
Well, yeah. No, I think it's because, in that moment, you kind of punching me gave yourself some superiority, so I felt that I was less than you, so I decided that you were the god that I had to worship. And then when I came down off it, and I went to see my therapist, and then he says, you've got PTSD, take these drugs, then I realized that Shy was actually behaving out of insecurity, and actually he's not my hero, he's just a tortured man.
And... So you're giving me the high of being your hero, and now you're giving me the low of telling me that...
this is true violence.
This is true violence, exactly. So now, in that theory of yours, you're the insecure one because you're the one trying to claim superiority over me.
What now?
Now, yeah.
No, nonsense here. So what I found is really interesting about this is actually I watched this film...
Wait, what was the film?
I don't know, something like The Magical Teapot or something. I can't remember what the film is. But basically, the thing is, when you touch... this couple found this teapot.
Yeah.
And what they realized is that when they started, hitting themselves, the teapot would give money. And then they...
hitting themselves to a point where it would cause pain? Or
so the pain. No, so they noticed it when they did little things.
Okay.
And then they're like, oh, wait. And then the more they hit themselves, they get more money. But then when they hit the other person... they get even more money.
No.
And then when they it kept going, and they found they went to very ridiculous lengths.
Yeah.
But
where they would actively almost kill each other to get even more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then what I realized, but the thing is, then they realized that you could do this emotionally. You could create emotional pain for somebody else, and then the teapot would give them money.
Even more money.
Yeah. But what I found really interesting is the point in which you think it's gone too far is when they start using emotional stuff. But the way we see relationships generally is that when it gets physical, that's the problem.
No, but that's only because emotional pain is much harder to see, so we don't see it as much.
Yeah. True. But I think the idea of any kind of physical violence in a relationship is untolerated. But emotional violence, you can go quite far.
Yeah, that's very true.
We tolerate this quite a lot of emotional violence, but in this film, it reversed it. And I was thinking shit, this is when they were trying to talk about affairs that they had just to create deep pain.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's, and I really think that also generally, if you think about the most painful times in your life,
they're emotional.
They're all emotional.
They're all emotional rather than physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe you can recover from physical pain, but can you recover from emotional pain? Do you ever really forget?
Yeah, I guess because they always have some residue left. Right?
Yeah. Actually, this goes back to what we were saying the other day. So if I'm not your hero anymore, then there's no longer a power dynamic between us.
No, is there not?
Yeah, well, does every relationship have a power dynamic? And is that what leads to emotional pain and emotional violence?
So really?
Because if you have power, do you have a tendency to cause violence?
Yeah. And if you don't have power, do you have a tendency to cause violence?
Yeah, exactly.
Or no?
Is violence an absence of power or a cause of power?
Wait, violence a cause of power?
No, so violence a byproduct of power?
Yeah. I don't know. People...
Well, I'm sure there's probably been times when we've caused a lot of emotional pain. I don't think there have been many times when we've caused much physical pain.
But do we cause the pain in order to get the power, or do we have the power and therefore cause the pain? Or both?
I think both.
But is this like an intentional thing, or is it like we just have the power and that actually makes things painful? So like if we're in a relationship and then I have like the power,
what would
like,
that be though? What does that mean?
Let's say you like me more than I like you.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or and then I abuse that power. Or no, just that power itself is painful. Painful for you.
What, knowing that
I like you less.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that would be enough.
But then
it would be what you did with that.
Yeah, but then I use that power to manipulate you to do things for me, right?
Yeah, but I would be happy to do those things.
Is that violence?
Yeah, but I would. What if I'm happy to do those things for you? What if I don't recognize it as violence?
Because you're enjoying it because you're doing it out of love.
Yes.
But if I'm manipulating you to do it, then nothing that I'm doing is out of love. So maybe it's like violent towards myself.
How so, though?
Just because, it's only maybe just violent because of an absence of love. Whereas you've got like love in your state because everything that you're doing out of manipulation is actually out of love. But me manipulating you into doing things for me makes me feel guilty.
Yeah, okay, but is guilty the same as pain?
Well, guilt is painful, right?
Do you think so? Yeah, no, guilt is painful, actually. No, I do agree with that. I do.
So maybe you just do this out of like some sort of sadomasochistic purpose.
But then is the violence...
I think this... Yeah, I don't know if this...
I don't know, exactly.
I'm not sure if I'm like... I'm sold on this, but...
Yeah, because I think it's... maybe it's a theory that makes sense in theory, but I don't think it's so much in practice. But that is a good idea. What about committing violent acts towards yourself? Physical and emotional.
Yeah, no, I think this is what... We do this all the time. And I think relationships is a product of that, for sure.
What, us hurting ourselves more than we're hurting the other?
Well, so many people tend to go for the same types of person that create them pain, cause them pain.
Yeah, but why is that?
And behave in the relationship the same way that they always cause them pain. And one is like, it's just hard to change. But I think the other thing is there's like attachments to that pain or that state of being. I feel...
Yeah, because maybe there's some comfort in that state of being, right? Because there was happiness in those times as well as sadness, right?
Yeah. And for me, I think there is definitely like some kind of romantic, like energetic thing created from the pain that allows me to make art. Yeah, and I think a lot of like artists rely on this pain and this like emotional pain in order to create, and it's quite dangerous.
Yeah, but is that also because emotional pain is much easier to achieve than a higher state of emotional love or like emotional happiness?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And there's that intensity and vigor that comes with it that we kind of ascribe to love, but it's not necessarily love. Yeah, exactly. But it's got that intense energy.
And I suppose if you're emotionally happy, you wouldn't have time to create art because you just want to spend time with the person that's making you emotionally happy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in emotional pain, you want distance
it's
from
a nightmare. Happiness is just a nightmare.
So maybe the pain is the key to life. But what about physical violent acts to yourself? So, cutting yourself, or things that we, as a society, find a bit abhorrent.
Yeah, but I think that's really because the physical pain is designed to obscure an emotional pain. I think that's why we do it. It's a form of therapy that we use. So basically, if I prick my finger, in that moment, all my focus goes to the pain in my finger. And so I'm like in that small moment, completely separated from my emotional pain or like that luggage that just like weighs me down and draws me into the abyss.
But is that emotional pain? Like, I think a lot of people see emotional pain as not as prolonged as that. It's something that's really weighing you down. I think that's maybe greater than just emotional pain.
Well, I guess it can be long-lived, it can be short-lived, it can be like...
Yeah, but is that more just sadness? I wouldn't really quantify that as emotional pain. Like emotional pain that you've caused yourself or that's been caused to you. But I wouldn't define that as like
so maybe
huge,
sadness,
overwhelming sadness.
Sadness comes out of emotional pain?
Yeah, like maybe that's what happens if you get repeatedly...
It's the lag.
Yeah.
Well... Yeah, but I think it can work for both of them. So one's just long-term, one's like... Okay, so I think pain has this connotation of shortness.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. I think pain is maybe the wrong word. Isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the most painful things are things that are like long-lived. Like the longevity makes it painful.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's true. Which is also weird because we refer to physical violence as physical violence and emotional abuse or emotional pain. Whereas maybe that's why we describe physical... Like, violence is a lot more aggressive as a word.
Yeah, but I also think that we have this idea that we have a lot of like control over our physical way of behaving, but we don't have control over our emotional way of behaving.
Do you think that's true then?
I don't know,
I think we're highly emotionally intelligent people. And I think we do know if we are pushing someone's buttons intentionally.
Yeah, so you can know it, or maybe know it in reflection or retrospection, but in the moment you might behave in a way that is quite horrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then only you only in reflection do you see like the kind of, the intentions of this. But I think I think we give too much sometimes to physical violence, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're saying maybe we should give more to emotional violence or be more aware of it.
Yeah, because I think those are the things that affect us the most, right? When you think about the hardest times in your life, it wasn't when you broke a leg. It was when whoever broke up with you.
Yeah, but is that
right? Or your parents died or something like that.
Yeah.
There's never the big momentous...
No, but I wouldn't say death is emotional pain.
No, I mean loss.
Yeah, loss, sorry.
I'm talking about, sorry. Yeah, your parents die, I mean like the effect it has on you is loss.
Yeah. Right? No, I got that as well, but I think...
And even in sickness, it's a lot of the emotional stuff that comes with the sickness rather than the actual physical.
Yeah, a lot of things that you could have done before, right?
Yeah.
It's that emotional thing that you need to overcome.
But that's also something that comes out of longevity. So like I've had a sickness for quite a while or whatever, and the physical pain was like, it was hard, but really if it's like a week long, it's not really that bad.
Yeah.
But the actual hard things is like how to assimilate it into your life, like the existential questions it brings up, like notions of uncertainty, of like entropy, the universe.
Is that because you're clinically insane?
Yeah.
Do you think somebody with a similar disease?
Yeah, but insanity is an emotional state. So you're only proving my point.
That's interesting. So do you think someone with a similar illness would react differently to you?
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of medicines based on everyone reacting the same way to medicine, right? And therapy.
So I had a theory that my specific condition is actually a perception of a certain physiology. So like many people have the same physiology.
Your perception of that physiology?
No, so everybody who's been... So I've had like ME or chronic fatigue syndrome for quite a while. Yeah. And...
I think certainly since I've known you, right?
Yeah. Well, but from before that, like... but I guess... Well, I don't know. No, past life. No,
in a past life, like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Because then I probably wouldn't have been reborn. I'd be like...
It could have been too tiring.
Too tiring for that.
And also, I don't think you bring illnesses with you in the next life. I think that's a very morbid statement. Yeah,
but then maybe you bring, like, your positive attributes. Like, it's quite like, morbid to think that when you go to the gym, you'll lose all your muscles when you're reborn. Right?
It's very true.
But that's right. To be honest, that's why I don't go to the gym.
Yeah, because I don't want to take it.
I'm
not taking it to the next cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to work either. I don't believe the money will last.
Yeah, exactly. It's always better to be poor than to be rich.
Yeah. So I had this theory. I don't know if it's true. I don't think it's necessarily true. But this is also a condition which not many people understand, like medically.
Believe in this theory?
No, I don't think I believe it. Why would I say a theory that I believe in? Come on, Shy. You know me better than that.
Sorry. A waste of time.
But I think what I was saying is that maybe ME or chronic fatigue syndrome is a certain perspective, like a group of people who have a certain interpretation or perspective on a certain physiology, and different people who interpret it with differently have a different disease, and then some other people could interpret it differently and have a different disease, and possibly some people could interpret the physiology and have no disease. Yeah.
And which category do you think you fall into? If we broke them up into those.
Well, I'm like been diagnosed with chronic fatigue or whatever. Right?
But not as ME.
Yeah. Well, whatever. They're considered the same thing, but maybe the same kind of existential perspective on that physiology gives birth to some